This is lesson 7.4C, the third video in trigonometry on vectors, operations, and the dot product. We're on example 4, and the picture that I have there is figure 30. We have two forces of 15 and 22 newtons that act on a single point in the plane, meaning we have a point right here. So let's say, for example, that this is a wagon, okay, and we've got a little kid pulling with 15 newtons of force. A newton is around a quarter pound, so if you're pulling with the force of like a quarter pound, that's going to be about a newton. So this person is pulling, little kid is pulling this way. It's his wagon, and he's pulling it this way toward home. Another little kid is pulling it this way with 22 newtons. Obviously, he's a little bit stronger. So he's pulling this way, the other kid is pulling this way, and the wagon then is going to go this way, okay? Because we've got a force this way and a force this way, so it's going to kind of go more toward the 22 because it's more of a force, but the 15 is still pulling it this way a little bit. So see how it's kind of more going toward the 22. It's kind of more going this way than it is this way. Alright, so what we're trying to figure out is what is the magnitude, or what is the force of V? What is the force being pulled in this direction? Alright, so what do we have here? We have 80 degrees, so it's not a 90-degree angle, so we can't use Pythagorean to find the hypotenuse. We know the length of this, we know the length of this. We know this is 100, but that doesn't even matter. All we're concerned about is this, this, and this in order to find the hypotenuse here. So given side, angle, side, we are going to use the law of cosines. So that vector, absolute value squared, is going to equal 15 squared plus 22 squared minus 2 times 15 times 22 cosine of 80 degrees. And when we put all this stuff together, we're going to get the absolute value of V. You know, once we take the square root of that, we're going to get somewhere around 22. Now notice that number is bigger. It is the hypotenuse, and with this force and this force working together, we're getting 24. So 22 this way, 15 this way. This 15 is kind of going in a weird direction, so that this distance here is actually 24 pounds of force being pulled that way. So that's the magnitude. So that is example 4. So notice, bottom of page 308, this is figure number 31. And what it is saying here is that AB, oops, let's get a color here, AB plus CD is the same as A plus C, B plus D. Okay, so that equals AB plus CD. So good to know this here as we're continuing on with some of these examples. So let's jump to example 5. So this example uses some of the vector operations, top of 309 in blue. Probably a good idea to write those down. So let's look at this one. It says find the following. We're looking at U plus V. So we've got two vectors, U and V. And we're going to use this formula, which is the first one in the vector operations in the blue up there. U plus V equals -2, 1 plus, so that's my U, plus 4, 3, which is what we have right there. That equals that. So let's go ahead and add those. -2 plus C and 1 plus 3. So that gives me 2, 4 for an answer. So that is u v, or u plus v. So what we've got here is, if we were to look at this, we've got our u going -2, 1, so it's going over about right there. And then we've got our v going at 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, over, try this in blue, over about there. Okay, and we're adding those up, and what do we get? We get 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We get something about right there when we add those. Okay, so let's look at part B. It says that we are going to, let me erase this, try talking to myself. Alright, so instead of u plus v, it is wanting us to take -2 times u. Well, according to the second one down on top of page 309, vector operations, this is my k, and that is going to be -2 times my -2, 1. That's my u. And when I take that, I'm going to distribute that -2. So I'm going to get -2 times -2, and then I'm going to get -2 times +1. So -2u is going to be 4, -2. And don't forget to put these on there, showing a vector rather than the round ones. Alright, so C is kind of a combination of A and B. They're asking you to find 4u minus 3v. So we're going to take 4 times u, which is -2, 1. And then we are going to subtract 3 times, let's see, what is v, 4, 3. Okay, so we get -8, 4, 12, 9. And we'll put those in our little Sharpie parentheses, whatever you want to call those. Alright, so now we are in this form here, which is very similar to this form, so let's look at it and see what we get here. So we get -8 minus 12, and then we have 4 minus 9 is that, and that gives us -20, -5 for an answer there. So let's go ahead and end this video and start with another one.